What's up? What's up, y'all? This is
I don't
Retro
think it.
Bros.
I don't
This is
think it
Retro
went well.
Bros Live. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? This is Retro Bros Reviews, episode 21. We're gonna cover SummerSlam 1992, and as you can see, we got a guest here. No Christian. Sorry, guys, for everybody. No, actually, I shouldn't say sorry because we actually got some very good news. Christian no longer a part of the podcast. That's why he's not here today. Yeah, he's leaving the Retro Bros reviews, and it's just gonna be me and maybe Natasha. But we'll get a couple of other guests in. Tay Conti's gonna be here in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
We get a
maybe.
couple of no,
No, we love you,
Kristen.
CJ. We love you,
Yeah,
bro.
Christian will be back probably next week when we do Unforgiven 2002. He did not want to do this show this week. I don't think he's really that big a fan.
Hmm.
But
Oh, I am.
he said
I am.
he said what's up. Yeah, he said what's up in the comments. He said don't be spreading lies, my boy.
We love you, bro. We love you.
Yeah. Um. But before we get into the show, you want to talk a little baseball. Of course, I'm down to
Yes.
talk a little baseball too, because my
Yeah,
team's going
definitely.
into the playoffs. My team's
Yeah,
going to the playoffs.
your Mets are kicking butt right now, and
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you and the city. They deserve it. They're a fighting team,
I
and
mean,
they'll go all the way. And my guys are clawing and scratching, if you will. At the moment, we're on top of the AL wild card right now. But
yeah.
thanks to beating the Phillies last night, we're
Thank you
now
very much.
yeah, we're now I believe it's a game and a half above Tampa Bay, who we have a series coming up this weekend, and but thanks to a Yankees win, we're still about I think 4 or 4.5 games back. So yeah, we are clawing and scratching, but it looks like we'll have a pretty good edge as far as the wild card
Good.
race is concerned. Now, I'm still a little confused when it comes to like wild card races. Like, how come there's three teams? Because I know there's going to be a wild card series. I don't quite understand
Um,
that. You know,
I hate that they've added three wild cards. I hate that they did in the NFL. I hate that they've
uh,
done in MLB. But
mhm,
here's how it's gonna go down. So
mhm,
the top two division teams, like the division teams with the best records, will get
mhm.
a first round bye. And I think
Okay.
the third division team will play one of the wild cards, and then the
Uh,
two other wild cards will face off with each other, and then
Interesting.
and then the two winners of that will face the two teams that get a bye.
Wow. That's a little
Yeah,
complicated, but
I
oh my god.
I still would rather it be the one wild card. I didn't
Yeah,
even like the
exactly.
two wild cards. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's a little more complicated this way around, but nonetheless, yeah, we face the Phillies again tonight, and if the Yankees are playing again, then we'll keep a sharp eye on that. So we're basically watching teams now like the Yankees, the Rays, and for that matter, Seattle, and yeah, I mean, well, Baltimore, I think I have a funny feeling Baltimore is going to be the next on the chopping block. They're going to be
yeah,
the next ones to fall. Um,
Baltimore had a nice little Cinderella run, but they're
they
about a year
did.
or two away. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
about a
they
year or
really
two
did.
away. Yeah.
They really did.
Um, for
So
me,
yeah,
yeah,
so
go
I'm very happy for you, especially Frankie, and your Mets deserve it. And most likely, there's no question the Yankees might join them. So
Oh yeah,
good
they will.
for good for New York and good for the city. And
I
yeah.
mean, yeah, for me, like I was born in 1992, so
Hmm.
I haven't seen that many great years from
Hmm.
this team. The current team is only what 90 95, so they're only two wins away from
Hmm.
actually equaling The
Hmm.
best record the Mets have ever had in my lifetime.
Mm.
99 and 2006 they won 97.
Yeah, that's
And
great.
they've never won 100 games in my lifetime. They're about to
Ah,
pull that off.
yeah,
Yeah, it's an exciting time to be a Met fan, and I'm
yeah,
hoping this year I finally witness a World Series title from
yeah.
this team. Yeah,
Well,
I've never
again,
had.
well, of course, on the north side of the border, of course, we had the infamous double World Series in 92, 93, and that's of course when I first started watching all my sports, baseball, wrestling, and all that stuff. And I actually like how you mentioned that it was. What were you saying? It was your first World Series in your lifetime? Well, that is a
Um,
something like that.
which World Series you talking about?
Like you're 92.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
92 was
Oh,
definitely the Joe Carter year. Yeah, that was definitely the
yeah.
first World Series of
Yeah.
my lifetime.
So, but was oh yeah, that's right. That was the Jays. But that's a perfect segue into our pay per view focus. As a matter of fact, Frank, I'll give you the floor to I'll give you the floor to say why this event is very special to you because it's actually very special to both of us. So
Yeah.
you're first. Go ahead.
Well, like I said, I was born in '92, so that has a little bit to do with it.
Hmm.
This was the first WWE pay-per-view to happen after my birth. So this is
Yeah,
like
in
the
your
first
lifetime.
pay-per-view of my life. Yeah,
That's
pretty
right.
cool.
Yeah. So you were about just over a month
Just
old
over a
when
month.
yeah, you were
Yeah.
a good
What?
month. You were just over a month old. And also, for the record, both our bro Frank here and WWE Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels. They both share a
Yeah.
birthday, July 22nd. So that's pretty cool right
And
there. And of course, we'll bring up Shawn later in the match review. Now, before we get to the match review, I remember because I watched it recently, and viewers out there, you're more than welcome to check it out on the YouTube channel. When we did the SummerSlam '93 review, we
oh, what happened? Oh boy,
about oh
oh,
there
she's
goes our
back.
cameras.
Okay.
So we were talking about our favorite matches from this event, the 92
Right.
SummerSlam. And I
Yeah.
remember you mentioned the title match with Savage and Warrior. um I had mentioned the Undertaker and Kamala match, but also not too far behind is the Shawn Michaels Rick Martel match.
Yeah.
And you'll see once we get to the reviews, I'm going to be, and I'm warning you now, I'm going to have a lot to say about pretty much most of, if not all, these matches. So
That's fine.
you
That's
see.
what everybody wants. That's what we're
Good.
here to do. We're here to talk
Good.
about it.
All right.
Um.
So hey, let's kick it off. Let's kick it off.
Yeah. So SummerSlam '92 first match, tag team match.
Yep.
Legion of Doom
That's
taking
right.
on Money Inc.
Money
LOD got the victory in this one. This is
That's right.
two of the best tag teams at this time, and this
At
was a
that time,
really
yeah.
fun match. Yeah,
Yeah.
this was a
So
really fun match.
Money Inc. was fresh off their first tag team title reign, as far as I know, or as far as I remember. And for what it's worth, I call them the Legion of Doom, not the Road Warriors, right? And also, a little fun fact here. Do you remember a guy named John Laurinaitis?
Yeah, people
Okay,
power.
yeah, that's right, people power. So him, here's a little fun fact here. Him and Animal of Legion of Doom were brothers.
Yes, and
Yeah,
they
we're
had
brothers. And
um what was it? It was Animal who was brothers with him, right? Animal
uh,
or
Animal
Hawk?
was what? Sorry.
Which one was the brothers? I forgot. Uh, was his
Um,
brother?
with the oh, that was Animal. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So Animal's son,
Mhm.
what was his name again? Shit, I
Oh,
forgot his name.
that I'm not sure. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Uh, People Power was a
Yeah,
goated gimmick, as Christian says.
yeah,
I agree. I
yeah. It was pretty
agree. That,
funny. Yeah. Overall, with the
um,
match itself, this was a classic tag team match. Both teams well, and for that matter, Money Inc.
Yeah.
They had the overall edge when it came to tag team strategy and keeping one guy in the corner and
And they were great heels too.
yes, and for what it's worth too, the motorcycle entrance was pretty cool. And also just to start it off too, this of course took place in London, England, Wembley Stadium.
Yeah.
One of, if not the first pay-per-views I can recall being outside the United States. Well, actually, besides that, there was WrestleMania 5, no,
Yes.
6. I'm sorry,
No, not
6.
sorry.
WrestleMania 6 was
Yeah.
actually here,
Yeah.
right here where I am, Toronto, but I was way too young to go to that. I was only like 5 years old,
I
but so I
can't
couldn't get
I can't wait. I can't wait to cover that show someday. That was
WrestleMania
the
6.
main event. Yeah. Well, Hogan and
Yeah,
Warrior was freaking tremendous,
that
man.
was classic. Yeah, more than a
Absolutely, yeah.
classic match. Yeah.
But I was trying to say,
Yeah.
I don't remember the kid's name, but of course his last name was Laurinaitis. That's
Mm.
all I remember. But he played in the NFL for the Rams for a few years.
Oh, neat.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah,
Like, yeah, like a lot of wrestling influences. A lot of these guys start out football and then eventually go on to wrestling. I mean, a couple of examples I could think of are Goldberg, Roman Reigns. You know, all those
Lex
guys.
Luger,
Yeah.
Lex
Who?
Luger, Lex Luger.
Yeah, Luger. That's right.
He played.
A lot of
He
them.
played for the. He played for the Packers though, so we ain't gonna talk about that
Yeah,
right now.
and apparently he also played up here in Canada for
He did.
the CFL. Yeah, it
Yep,
was
he
one of
did.
his first stints in football. But nonetheless, going back to this first match here with Money Incorporated and Legion of Doom, yeah, they were both fresh off tag team title reigns, and I remember when they replayed the end of the match. I remember Bobby Heenan saying, you know, they're gonna get their title shot regardless of what happened. You know,
Yeah,
DiBiase and IRS they ended up losing that match, but they did end up getting another title shot eventually, beating the natural disasters for the titles. I believe it was on an episode of either Superstars or Saturday Night's Main Event, one of those. So that's going to tie in with actually the next um, the next point, and that involves this little guy here.
oh
Woo!
Flair. Oh, okay.
Flair's interview with Oakland, right? So
Yep.
so the main focus of that interview was the fact that Flair ended up not being the challenger for
Yeah, for the title.
Savage
Yeah.
here. And so, if I can elaborate on that history a little bit, so of course these two had a championship title match at
Tremendous.
WrestleMania 8. Yeah, WrestleMania 8, and Savage won the title for the second time.
Yeah.
And it was really strange back in those days because you would think that once you lose a title, that you're automatically guaranteed a title shot. Well, that's the deal these days. You know, you're not
Yeah.
waiting that long. You know, once you lose a title, you're not actually waiting that long to eventually get a title shot. And so that was the strange thing back in those days. Flair waited like well after he lost the title at WrestleMania 8 months ago, a few months before that. So, and make a long story short, Flair eventually gets a title shot against Savage again, wins the title, but then of course loses the title to this little guy,
Bret
Brett,
Hart. Yep.
and that of course was pretty close to the Survivor Series of '92, which I would also love to join in and do a review on that one. But
Yeah, we can definitely do that sometime in the future.
yeah,
Any
so
any
so that
nineties, any
I know.
early mid 90s, you'll be a part of definitely.
I know, that's great. Yeah, so after that interview was so what's your overall thoughts on the interview plus the first match.
Oh yeah, like I said, the first match was really good. Like two great tag teams. You know, Road
Mhm.
Warrior always get that Road Warrior pop when they come out, and there was
What a
no different here.
rush! What a rush,
And
eh?
like I said, Money Inc. probably one of my favorite tag teams of this time period. Great
Same
heels.
here. Yeah, same here.
And yeah, just great match. Uh, the interview, I can't even remember it. I'm sure if it's Flair, I'm sure it was pretty good.
Yeah,
But I will say this: Ric Flair. This was his. This was. Man, I lost my thought for a second. Hold on. This was
I know
the
how you feel.
only.
Believe.
Yeah, this was the only SummerSlam that like during his WWE run, and he wasn't even on that card. I'm talking about the first one when he left WCW. Like
Yeah,
it's shocking that he wasn't on this card.
that's
And
true. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Well,
he
that's.
could have they could have had him face Perfect because like
Mhm.
both him and Perfect are like in the corners for the title match. They should have been like they should have
Yeah.
wrestled each other, man. Like put those two on the card.
Yeah. Well,
That's
incidentally,
one.
I mean, I'll touch base on it more when we get to the actual match, but incidentally, this was one of the first, or if not the first, like sort of storyline or controversy situation involving a match or leading up to a main event title match that I was exposed to, because I had never, I mean, 8 years old, I had never thought of any kind of whatever it meant by a storyline or anything like that. But I would
Yeah.
say this was the first one, and of course the thing was like whose corner would Perfect show up with or be in, either the Warrior or Savage, and it was just so strange back in the day, and it's still kind of strange these days. I mean, Perfect was clearly still with Flair, but it mixed up fans. It was almost funny how everyone was mixed up, and just a crazy thing. But we'll get more to that when we get to the actual match. Yeah,
before
no problem.
before we move on, like I said,
Hmm.
you're the one who comes through whenever we do 90s, early mid 90s stuff. So
Yes,
we do weekly shows on here too. We don't just do like pay-per-views.
that's right.
So any weekly show that's on the network, whether it be from that time period, whether it be a Raw or a Super Shows, would you be down to do some reviews of those too?
Hell yeah, hell
Okay,
yeah.
that's
Sure.
those
Anything.
some
Yeah, anything between 92, 96, I'm down. Sure.
all
I
right,
just got
yeah.
to be home.
Not
I
not
got to be
night
home.
not yeah, yeah. Not 9091. You said
Not
92.
well, 90
Oh,
and
there was no
91.
week. Yeah, yeah. There was no weekly show. Never mind. There was
Yeah,
no
that's
like
right.
rule. Yeah,
There was like
yeah,
superstars of wrestling, but
yeah.
that's about it. I mean, I only started watching like mid 92, so like after
Okay.
WrestleMania 8. Yeah. But for what it's worth too, the SummerSlam 92 was actually my first pay-per-view. I was already like 7 years old, but this was the first pay-per-view my dad ever ordered for us on pay per view, and it was the first of like well over 10 consecutive pay per views that we would get within those next couple of years. So like all of 93, all of 94, and then we only
Yeah,
had like
yeah.
a select. Yeah, we only ordered a select couple at 95, and then we sort of drifted off after that. But I've always said that was the best time for me, and I'll never forget them.
For me, now I didn't grow up on the new generation era. Like
Hmm.
of course, I was born in '92. I was a baby when this era was going on.
Yeah,
Um, it's not like you. Of course, I understand why it's your favorite era. I'm more partial to
one of
the
them.
attitude.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. For me, the
yeah.
attitude era is my number one. But I
Hmm.
absolutely love the new generation era, man. I grew up, not grew up. I started watching it because of the network. I would watch the
Hmm.
Raws and the pay per views, and I absolutely fell in love with the era, man. This
Yeah,
this show isn't new gen. Let me just say that right now. This is pre new gen, but
yeah, for
I
sure.
of course, yeah, we both. talk about the new gen era on my Twitter account. Of course, the
That's right.
90s, 90s. That's why I wanted to
Six.
bring that up. We both
Yeah,
love the new generation era, and
we
we're
do.
probably like the only damn YouTube wrestling show that will actually have two people that actually
Yeah,
enjoyed that era. I want to
and
say,
that actually have respect for it. Yeah,
yeah, Christian said, he said Peacock, not the network. It's still the network. It's just a part of
it's the
Peacock.
network here. It's
I
the
always
network here in
for you
Canada.
it is, yeah. For you,
Yeah,
but it's still the network. It's an option on Peacock. It's
yeah. It's just
Peacock,
streamed on. It's
but
streamed on
yeah,
Peacock.
it's
Yeah,
streamed on Peacock. It's still the WWE network. He also
that's
said
right.
the Attitude Era is. He also said the Attitude Era is overrated. Get out of here with that bullshit. No other no other era except maybe the early portion of Ruthless Aggression, which he says
Hmm.
is better than the Attitude Era, not even close.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
the early portion, there's no other era that has consistent, great storylines, television storylines
yeah,
that just make you want to tune in every week. That's what made the Attitude Era so great. Not only that,
yeah.
star power, great
Hmm.
storylines. That is why the Attitude Era will always be my favorite era. Ruthless
Yeah.
Aggression Era, I absolutely love the early years like '02,
Hmm.
'03, '04,
Yeah.
'05. After that, not and
Yeah.
not just ruthless aggression or wrestling in general. There's like Impact. Impact got me in like 2010, and I absolutely
Hmm.
love Impact in 2010. But
Yeah.
other than that, since about 2005, there isn't too much else wrestling that I love
Well, that's
from post
how.
'05.
Yeah, that's how I feel about early to mid '90s. I mean, there was, and even a lot of the guys that said in interviews there were so many colorful characters. Like guys you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
keep an eye on and make you at least half interested in watching. And I was just growing up. I was getting into all my sports, and I'm looking. Wow, these guys are amazing. Uh, larger than life characters, and
oh yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
I mean, in those days it was almost like watching cartoons, and but in live action, right? So I guess
Hang on
I
one
guess
second.
yeah.
But I'll let you finish. But hang on. Almost
Okay.
called them wrong. Christian says star power question mark. Bro, Austin was only hot for what, 5 years? The Attitude Era was what? Oh, 97,
To
98,
about 2000.
99, 2000, 2001. It literally was 5 years.
Yeah.
The Attitude
Right.
Era was 5 years. And
Yeah.
first of all, Austin's the one of the biggest stars ever, as
Yeah.
is Rock. You also got
Hmm.
Triple H. You got
Hmm.
Undertaker.
Yeah.
When you're talking, and then the undercard, one of the greatest undercards ever with guys like D'Lo Brown, uh, Val Venus, freaking
Hmm.
great characters on the undercard. X Pac, uh,
Yeah.
you can't top the Attitude Era. Whether it's you definitely can't top it when it comes to the main eventers. And then you
Yeah.
just have great characters on the undercard, and on top of that, you had somebody who can write for them in Russo, and also later as time went on, Ferrara. Both of them,
Hmm.
the greatest writers of all time. Nobody
Yeah.
wrote better angles than them. There's a few that come close, but you can't touch Russo and Ferrara when it
Yeah.
comes to writing television.
See, this is why I feel, for new generation time is, especially the time
Val
period
was a
where,
porn star. Yeah, Val was a porn star, and he was damn
yeah.
entertaining at it. What
The
was
time
D'Lo
period.
Brown's gimmick? What was D'Lo Brown's gimmick? He
He always
did
shook his
the
head
chest,
like this or something.
right, that he did the
I
chest
remember that.
protector thing. Right, he
Yeah.
did the chest protector thing for a little while.
Right.
He had
Yeah.
the European thing later on when
Hmm.
he won the European title.
Title.
X
Right.
Pac's gimmick. Xbox
Hmm.
gimmick. At least in '99, he had the underdog thing going on for him. That was
Yeah.
really
The one,
good.
two,
Yeah.
three.
No,
Yeah,
no,
he
no.
was all over the place.
Right. This was long after.
After that, yeah.
Yeah, this
But he
was
was
long
all
after.
over the place. I mean, actually, the funny thing about X Pac is kind of hilarious because he was jumping back and forth between
Yeah.
all the factions at that time, whether it was DX, the NWO, even the didn't he have a small stint in the Wolfpack too?
I think he was out of WCW once by the time of Wolfpack.
Oh, but still,
I could be wrong.
he was
I
back
could
and
be
forth
wrong.
uh,
He definitely
between like
was.
the NWO and DX. So he was sort of
Yeah.
the I don't know, the black sheep of both factions. So it was kind of funny.
He
But
was. He was.
yeah, but I mean, overall for me, the new generation era was the best. I paid the most attention, and I was the most interested. And this event that we're touching base on, if you ask me, it's pretty
Hang
much
on,
borderline.
hang on,
Oh, there he
Frank.
is.
Frank, you are wrong. Frank, you are
No, I'm
wrong.
not. No, I'm not. You can't touch the attitude era, bro. You can't
Bullshit.
touch
Yes, you
that.
can. Hang on, folks. First of all, Frank did the intro all wrong. It's what do it do, YouTube? We back with another
That's
live
how you
video.
do it. That's how you do it. That's not how I do it. I
And you
do it how
forgot
I.
to say, you also forgot to say, if you're new here, smash the like button, smash the
That's what you
subscribe
do.
button, hit the
That's right.
notification bell so you get notified when we upload new content. We upload, yeah, but I'm not here this week. It's up to
I'm
you.
get right. I run this. I run when I run this. I run this however I want. How about that? You're not here
Oh.
this week. You're not here this week. I run this how I want
He
to run
told you. He told you.
Hey,
You can't be
hey,
coming out.
look.
You can't be coming out here throwing heat against the Attitude Era and expect me to come
Oh,
in and
really?
not
Oh,
match.
really?
Yeah.
Listen. But hey, wait.
By the way,
What?
you joining? You hold on. You joining? We lost our one view. It literally hit zero. It
Wait. What?
literally.
Because I still have you guys on. Oh, wait. I have you paused. Hold up.
You guys are funny.
I have you guys paused. There we go. Man, we should
No,
get
it
that
still
one viewer
says
back.
zero.
But
It
no,
still says
look. Attitude Era was overrated, and here's why.
no.
Shut
No.
your mouth, Frank, because I'm going to talk.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
This is why it was overrated. Because you only had the Rock. Because in the Attitude Era, you only had Austin from what? 98 to from 97 to 98, and then he won the title in 98. And then in 99, he went away because he got injured.
He
He
went.
did
He
not
went
come
away at the
back.
end of '99. He
He did
went
not
away at
come.
the end of '99.
Okay, he went away at the end of 99. Okay. He did not come back until the end,
They.
until the beginning of what? 2001.
So you
Right?
literally just missed him for 1 year. So
Okay.
what's that?
And in that
And
one
when
year, hang on. And in that
and in
one
that
year,
1 year, Triple H took over.
Triple H took over. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we
Yeah.
agree that Triple H was a star. Because
Yeah.
a lot of
Triple H,
people, a lot of people will
Stone
just
Cold, Stone Cold, who's one of the biggest stars of all time. The Rock, who's right behind him, also one of the biggest stars of all time. Triple H, Undertaker. Just those four alone, you can't touch that main event scene.
okay.
Star power. What he got today? AJ Styles with his 5-star technical wrestling matches.
You did
AJ
right.
Styles can't touch.
Phenomenal
AJ
work.
First of
Styles
all,
can't touch them.
first of all, put some respect on AJ Styles' name.
I
Hell
will not.
yes.
When he becomes entertaining, I'll put some respect
Secondly,
on him.
you
He's
still got
literally phenomenal. Come on.
facts. Thank you, Nat.
Eh,
Secondly, you still got Brock Lesnar.
Lesnar, I'll
Thirdly,
give you Lesnar.
you still got Edge.
Roman,
Fourth,
Edge, yeah.
you still got
They
you had Roman Reigns. Yes, you have
Roman,
Drew
yep.
McIntyre.
acknowledge him. Thank you
Drew
for
McIntyre,
acknowledging
no.
him.
No. Drew McIntyre, no.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
Are you
no.
kidding? I love Drew. Come on.
I'm not kidding. No.
I love
No.
Drew.
Frank, you're
I'll
fired.
give you I'll give you Edge. I'll give you Roman Reigns. I'll give you Brock. Definitely Brock. Brock would have fit perfectly in that.
Here's a name
But
that
even
won.
them,
Here's a name
even
that
that main
won.
event team can't touch. They can't touch the Attitude.
Here's a name that won.
And hold on before you say that. Today, no angles, no storylines, no television storylines. That's the problem.
See, that's a bullshit statement right there. No
That's
angles,
not a
no
bullshit
storylines.
thing.
That is a bullshit statement. And
I'm
that can
talking
attest to
television.
this. Hang on.
I'm talking television storylines.
I know. I know.
TV storylines.
I know what you're talking about. And that's still a bullshit statement. because you got the Miz, and you've got
Drew,
Dexter
what's his name?
Loomis.
Dexter, yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
like a
if you
mini movie right
that
there.
is a mini movie right there.
What
Then
else are they
you
doing? What else are they doing?
let's
Because the
see.
Attitude Era had an angle with everybody,
He's
everybody
got a
on the
point there,
damn show.
dude. He's got
Yeah,
a point there.
Yeah,
every single person was involved, and
yeah, but
every
everybody
storyline was entertaining. Every storyline was entertaining.
That's made it more
was it the
exciting.
fact. Hang on, was it that everybody was entertaining, or was it just that people would consume whatever they were shown? And I asked that question because
I'm
I've been
not talking
watching
about.
a
I'm
lot.
not talking about. I'm hold on before you say that because you're bringing other people into this. I'm just giving my opinion. I don't care what other people feel.
Okay, that's fair. That's
I
fair.
It
ain't talking about
doesn't
ratings.
matter,
I'm
right?
not talking about ratings. I'm not talking about pay per view buys. I'm not talking about ticket sales. I'm not talking about nothing. I'm just talking about my opinion.
Right.
So if you want to
Okay.
bring in business and all that, that's not what I'm arguing.
No. Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
So I lost my train of thought now. Damn you,
Like
Frank.
literally, what was best for business?
We're just out
So
here
so
losing
so
our.
wait. So was it that it was entertaining? I mean, it's entertaining to
Yep.
you, Frank, and that's I guess
Yep.
you were
That's what I'm
entertained.
saying.
It
That
was a bit off the wall,
but
honestly.
but a lot of the stuff that they did. I mean, come on, you can't sit there and tell me that Undertaker crucifying Stone Cold, crucifying Stephanie, putting
Yeah,
them on
that
the
was great.
cross.
That was great. It's not if that happened in real life, that would be terrible. This is not real life. It's television.
Yeah,
That's the
he's
point.
got a
Okay,
point
It's
there. I mean,
television.
so hang on.
the storylines
So
were like TV
let,
shows.
let's let's
Yeah.
take a look at one of the years of the Attitude Era. Let's take a look at 1999. Let's
One
take
of
a
my
look at what
favorite years
happened
of all
in the
time.
year 1999. Okay,
And
hang on, hang
before you
on.
do that, remember it's a television show.
Okay.
Yes.
So in 1999, let's take a look at what happened.
Hmm.
And not just in wrestling, but in everything. Columbine High School Massacre happened, right?
What's that got to do with the attitude era?
Just listen. Shut up and listen.
What's
March
that got to
12th,
do with the
99.
attitude
He
era?
told
That
you.
that whole situation happened that turned out to be crap,
Sad,
right?
sad
Just
situation.
listen.
Rest in peace to everybody. Go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, yes, absolutely. The Woodstock situation, that was just a horrible situation all around. I mean, whatever.
Again, what's that got to do with the attitude era?
Because I asked that because when you have that kind of senseless violence being shown on television, that stuff is shown on television, pay per view, TV, the news, whatever. Can you really sit there and say that the crucifixion angle of Stone Cold, with all the violence that was going on in '99, could you really sit there and say that the crucifixion was done in good taste or that it was entertaining?
I
Knowing
can say
about
that. You know
thinking
what?
He's
about
You
got
know
a point
what?
Columbine,
there, you know.
Hang on,
thinking
hang
about
on, hang on,
Columbine,
hang on.
thinking
You know
about the
what?
Woodstock stuff.
Okay, okay. I see what you're saying, but you know what? I separate real life and television. That's why. There's the- it has nothing to do with real life. It's a
Okay,
television show.
I understand what you're
We
saying.
need to move on though. I swear
Hang
we're
on,
already 30 minutes in.
you separate real life from
Yes,
TV, and that's
yes.
great. But at some point, you got to look at real life and say TV should not be doing this. It's a
I
little too
disagree.
far.
I
All right,
disagree.
agree to
Well,
disagree.
if
Go
I
ahead.
can
Yeah.
intervene just for a little
Yeah.
bit, I mean, CJ, you have a good point. I mean, that's one of the big reasons why I stopped watching around the Attitude Era because it was getting really off the wall. I
Yeah,
mean, with the girls coming in and showing everything. I
yeah.
mean, there
All those
as a
girls
girl
are bigger
myself,
stars.
yeah,
All
but as
those
a girl
girls are bigger
myself,
stars than the ones
Do
today.
you
it
know
made
why
me
they're bigger
disgusted.
stars?
You
Because
know.
of these. That's why they were bigger
They're,
stars.
they're
Yeah,
still bigger stars.
puppies, as Lawler would say. But it disgusted me to hell. And you guys all know who my favorite superstar was, and that's Owen. And whenever he would talk about that time period, it totally disgusted him. Like he even couldn't stand wearing the road sign tights that he had when he was with the
Really?
Nation of Domination, right? He hated those tights, and he hated
Why?
what was going on at that time. It was way too, just overall way too crazy. I mean, he wanted to be as much of a professional wrestler as possible, coming from the Hart family or whatever.
Yeah.
And in that sense, he had a good point, because it was too much for TV, and just that's what threw me off, and that's what took me off that whole time. I couldn't
All
I
right.
couldn't stand what was going on at that time. And
Well,
you're
Yeah, we
you're
gotta
100% right about that crucifixion crap. I
I'm gonna
mean,
let you
it was
guys move on
ridiculous.
to
yeah,
SummerSlam.
we gotta move.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, but before I go, I'm gonna say this
Mhm.
again. If you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get notified when we upload new content. I upload new content weekly. And hey, Pepsi, sponsor your favorite YouTube channel. Do it.
Yes. I'll
All
see
right.
you on Saturday.
Yeah,
I'll see you on Saturday
absolutely not.
for Retro
Frank,
Rawdown.
next week, you're not bowing out.
No, I'll be there.
All right.
I'll be there definitely.
Peace.
Unforgiven 02.
Oh,
Right.
snap. Oops.
Oops.
Oh,
Oops.
whoops.
That's
Oh
hilarious.
my!
You just
What a
kicked her
character,
out
huh?
of.
What a character, huh? He's our
he just
character.
kicked you.
He's
He
our
just kicked
character.
you out of the stream. That's hilarious.
No, no, I'm fine.
My
But he's
bad,
our
No,
guys.
he
character. He's
did
our.
My
by
bad. Didn't mean to
mistake.
kick you
He
guys
did
out. I
by
spoke
mistake.
myself out. My bad.
That's all right.
Yeah,
All right. So let's go on. So the second
yeah.
match, the second match of SummerSlam
Nails.
'92 was Virgil against Nails, right?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
this didn't have so much build up. In a way, it was sort of a filler match. But I also remember Bobby Heenan saying, if I'm not mistaken, there's more to this match that meets the eye, and he was 1,000,000% right, because it was maybe a month or two before SummerSlam that Nails had debuted, and
Yes.
right away he was put into a storyline or a rivalry with the Boss Man. Okay,
Yep.
so
Yep.
if you think about it, Nails being matched up with Virgil was actually fitting, because um, also back to WrestleMania 8, Virgil was a tag team partner of the Boss Man in it was either a six or it was an 8-man tag, right, in WrestleMania 8, and the Boss Man and Virgil were on one team, so they became like at least good tag partner friends and whatever. And then of course the SummerSlam match with Nails was fitting, because if you think about it, it all led up to the Survivor Series match, the Nightstick match. So that sort of
Oh yeah.
capped
Yeah.
off, that capped off that rivalry. So, but for the match itself, Virgil had his moments. I remember, he was trying to match like Power
Wait.
and
Who?
Virgil, Virgil,
Who?
Virgil, Virgil.
Oh, you mean Mike Jones?
Oh, that's his name. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
um, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'm usually good with wrestlers' real names, but I never knew these two. But nonetheless,
But you never heard of the rapper Mike Jones?
no, no,
Oh, so you don't even get what I was just doing.
no, not at all, not at all.
I need to
But
I need to put you on. I need to put you on some H Town stuff. You'll get it.
I'm just not crazy about rap, though. That's the thing.
Rock. That's
I'm not.
rap.
I mean, like rap music or stuff. But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah, yeah.
so when it comes to the match itself, Virgil was trying to match Power with Nails, which was a big mistake, because like Nails was this big,
Right.
big guy, and overall Nails wins. But again, if you think about it, this led up to the climax of this rivalry, which was the Nightstick match at Survivor Series '92 with
Yeah,
the Boss Man.
yeah.
Yeah, there's no question. All right, your
Um,
thoughts, Frank?
yeah, I really don't have much thoughts. According to Wikipedia, this match was just under 4 minutes. It was 3 minutes
Mm-hmm.
and 50 seconds. There's
Hmm.
not much to talk about. There are a couple matches on here, even though the show was good. There's a couple
Hmm.
matches on here that like there's not much to say.
Yeah.
Nails got the win, like you said.
Hmm.
Virgil tried to overpower him, big mistake, and that's what led to Nails getting the victory.
Hmm.
I believe this was also the show where Nails went backstage and like punched Vince McMahon in the face or something. He got
Is
fired
that
for it.
right?
Yeah,
Oh,
I believe this.
wow.
Yeah, I believe this
Really?
was the show. So this might have been the last time you see Nails, unless he
Well,
was on like some.
don't forget, there was the Survivor Series match, the nightstick match with the
Oh,
Boss
he
Man.
was okay. He was in that, so I don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
At
that's
some
right.
point, yeah, at some
Huh.
point he punched Vince backstage and got fired for it. I remember
Wow.
reading. I
So
remember
that,
reading that it was SummerSlam. I don't know.
yeah, so that must have been after the Survivor Series then.
It had to be because if that was
Yeah.
his last appearance, yeah.
So
This next,
in that case, I would label this match if it's the only one, unless there's more down the line. But I would give this a check mark as filler match.
it was
Yeah,
definitely.
there's no question.
There's a
But
little bit of filler on it, yeah. This was
moving
definitely
on,
not full of filler. Shawn
this
Michaels, yeah,
and the model, Rick Martel. Now, I
and I
have a
love
I
you.
I have a history. I have a history leading up to this match, if I may.
Yep,
So,
go ahead.
it started out on an episode of Superstars. Martel was involved in a intercontinental title match with Bret Hart, and near the end of the match, Martel was giving a Boston Crab to Bret, and in comes Sean, and
Yeah,
Sean was already involved in not necessarily a storyline, but a rivalry with Bret, because this was around the time of one of their first encounters, fresh off their tag teams, right?
yeah,
Bret was
yeah.
fresh off the Hart Foundation, and Sean was fresh off the Rockers. So this was around the time of their match, their ladder match for
Yeah.
the Intercontinental title.
That match,
So
that match happened. That match happened, and I'm sorry to Sean and Brett right now. I stole their thunder, but
mhm.
literally the very next day, yours truly was born.
Yeah, there you go.
I
That's right,
stole
July
I
21. Yeah,
stole Sean and Brett's I stole
there you
Sean
go.
and Brett's thunder.
So that was a sign. So anyway, so Sean comes down during this Intercontinental title match and gives Brett a punch or two. So
Mhm.
whether he wanted to do it or not, he caused Martel the title match, because Brett wins by disqualification, so he keeps the title. So again, Sean cost Martel the IC title, and then about, I'd say, a couple weeks to maybe a month later, Sean's involved in a match with a jobber, and Martel shows up and not necessarily distracts Sean, but distracts his manager, Sensational Sherry, who in my opinion is one of the greatest female managers, superstars of all time. She's truly missed, and well
Yeah,
deserved, of course, in the Hall of Fame. So
yeah,
Martel comes down and distracts Sherry, so that's where she comes in. So one of the bases of the SummerSlam match is like, whose corner will she be in? I mean,
yes,
she
yeah,
shows up with Sean, um, but then it leads up to what I think is a really ridiculous stipulation, and even and Vince says this when Sean's coming down the entrance ramp. Vince is saying, this isn't the sixth grade. This is the World Wrestling Federation, and he
yeah,
nailed it right on the button, because you got Sean and Martel, two heels, right? And this is where the moniker of SummerSlam you thought you'd never see first comes into play in my mind, because you got two of the biggest egos, literally, in the WWE at the time, going up against each other, and supposedly Sherry threw in the stipulation of no hitting in the face. I mean,
Yeah,
come
yeah.
on, give me a
That
break.
was
You got
that
two
was great.
that was ridiculous. I mean, you got two professional wrestlers, two professional athletes who are vying for supremacy, if you will, and looking to be the best or whatever. And what makes you think that they're not gonna give a punch or even a slap for that matter in the face? You got a wrestling match going on, and come on, it didn't make sense. But
Yeah,
uh, you
we're
know,
in total disagreement when it comes to this match.
oh
Total
really?
disagreement. Oh
Okay, go
yeah.
on. Yeah, go on.
I absolutely love this storyline. You got like I even was gonna say that two of the biggest egos in
Mm,
the WWE, two guys that one guy that calls himself the sexy boy, the other guy that
mm-hmm,
calls himself the model,
mm-hmm,
and of course they're fighting over at that time arguably the most beautiful woman in WWE. It
mm-hmm.
made for a lot of great drama. I
That's right.
love the stipulation. They can't punch each other in the face
Yeah,
because what's her name? Sherry. Sherry
yeah,
likes their faces, so of course she doesn't want to see them punching each other.
yeah,
That was hilarious.
yeah.
But yeah,
I, I
this
guess
was
even
fun.
the fainting was even funny too. And
Yeah.
like even Bobby Heenan says, "Oh, I'm a heartthrob," and and I remember Vince saying, "Yeah, Lady Giraffes." Those
Bobby
two,
Heenan.
Bobby
Bobby
Heenan was
Heenan's
something
the
else.
goat, man.
It
And
really
we
was. It really was.
recently it was the 5 year anniversary of his passing. Sadly,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah,
that wasn't too long ago.
greatest color commentator in the pro
Yeah,
wrestling history,
no question,
no
no
doubt
question
about
about it. Nothing will ever top him. And pairing up with Vince, or like I had said before, pairing up with
Monsoon
Gorilla
Gorilla.
Monsoon, and
Yeah.
they and like I've said before, they did a great job on the 1993 Royal Rumble, which
Yeah.
once again, I would love to participate in
Here's
a review of that.
like I mentioned earlier. We'll do reviews one day. I
Hmm.
mean weekly show reviews one day.
Hmm.
I got a perfect early mid 90s Raw to start with.
Oh, okay.
The Raw, I think it was like the last one of '93, but the Raw
Oh,
where Gorilla Monsoon kicks out Bobby Heenan. I'm not sure what
oh,
the date
oh
is.
yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that. I
yeah,
remember that. That
yeah,
that was after the Survivor Series in
yeah,
'93, and
yeah,
because the Survivor Series '93 was Heenan's last commentary stint, and
yep,
then it threw out like there was like a duffel bag involved. I remember, and
yeah.
clothes and stuff. So yeah, I do remember that.
That was
But
a perfect
actually,
ending for Heenan.
speaking, yeah, but you know what? Speaking of Raw, you know what would be fun too? I
Was that?
mean, this is looking a little in advance, but
Yeah,
it's about a couple months away. January, January of 2023,
yeah.
30 years. Let's do. You know what? Like around. You
Oh,
know what I'm leading to, right?
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Okay. So we'll. How about we do like in that week? Like January
Definitely,
11th.
definitely.
Depending on what day of the week it falls on. Let's do like
I
a
don't,
30th anniversary.
I don't
First
have
ever
a,
Monday Night Raw.
yeah, I don't have a 2023 calendar at my disposal at the moment, but
I
as
do.
long as it's okay, so
Okay.
January 11th falls on what?
Let's see. Let's
As long as
see.
it's not Monday or Tuesday, there's a good
Hmm.
chance I can do day of. As
Let's
long as
see.
it's not Monday or Tuesday.
Let's see here. Got a calendar right here. Let's see. January 11th of 2023 is on a Wednesday.
Perfect.
I'm
Let's
in.
do it that day. That
Perfect.
day.
Let's
Okay,
do it.
so
Perfect.
breaking news here on the Retro Bros reviews.
Mm-hmm.
January 11th, 2023.
Three.
Me and Natasha, we're going to review the first ever Raw on the
That's
30th
right.
anniversary.
That's right. We are. Yeah.
I'm
Perfect.
30. Raw's about to be 30. And yeah,
Yeah.
we'll talk about that show when that day comes. I can't
And you
wait to
know
do it.
what? How about either we'll name it 30 years in the making or Dirty 30s? How's that sound?
We'll see when the day comes.
We'll see. Okay, now, all right. So, let's go
If
back
you wanna
to
if you
yeah.
wanna do like something totally different from the retro bros, like we could do our own how you and Christian do
Hmm. The raw
the
down.
current day, yeah, the raw
Yeah.
down the current stuff. We
Hmm.
could do like the old raws, like new generation era raws. We can do
Yeah.
that for
I'd
so
love
yeah,
that. Sure.
yeah. Okay.
Sure. Sounds good. Yeah. Okay.
So when
So,
you want to start that?
um, I don't know.
We can start like
I think it's more appropriate to start that like from January, from this coming January on,
yeah,
because
because
we'll start off by reviewing the very first Monday Night Raw, and then maybe every couple of weeks or so we'll do a specific episode of Monday Night Raw starting from 93, and
we
then
should
spaghetti
do
on. Yeah.
we should do like a couple episodes too, because we're talking about like 1 hour episodes. So
Yeah.
we should do a couple to make it a
Yeah.
little longer. Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
because we do a
Sure, I'm
one
good.
hour episode. We do a 1 hour episode. That'll be like a 30-minute podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Because
Yeah,
yeah, you're right. Comparing that to what CJ and I do,
yeah,
we do the Monday Night Raw, which is 3 hours, but we shrink it into about an hour or so. Well, granted, we include SmackDown as well, but
yeah.
yeah, we do all we can to fill time. And I want to thank CJ again for coming up with the idea to do that, because I have
No
a
doubt.
blast doing that, and I'm having a blast right now.
Yeah,
No doubt.
we're trying to create as much content
Yeah,
for the show as we can. And I
yeah.
think Christian says he doesn't want to do the early mid 90s stuff. So if you're
That's fine.
down, you
I'm
it
down.
can just be me. I guess it can just be me and you. And if you
Great.
want to do 80s, if you want to do 80s WWE, because I think Christian don't like that either. If you want to do
Uh,
80s,
no, because I wasn't watching then. I was my brother would do 80s. I mean, he was like by the time I was born, he was like 5, and by the late 80s he was watching, so he was familiar with
I
that
wasn't
more.
even
But
born. I wasn't even
no,
born yet. And I love the 80s because
no,
Hogan's
yeah,
run was amazing.
yeah. I'm not as
And then
familiar
yeah,
as that's why I'm even avoiding 90 and 91, because I'm just not as familiar of those years as I am with like between 92 and 95. So
you should
I'm very
at
particular.
least yeah, at least watch if you haven't WrestleMania 6 because Hogan and Warrior was tremendous.
Yeah, WrestleMania 6. Yeah, and how appropriate from where I am. So that should be interesting. I mean, I'd have to make notes on that one, I guess, because I've never actually watched
That's
it
what
all
I'm
the way
saying. Check
through.
it out. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. You gotta check
when I
that
get a
show.
chance, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But going on with Slam 92 here, the fourth match was for the tag team
That
titles,
title.
the
Natural
Beverleys
disaster.
against Natural Disasters. Yeah. This, of course, also, despite it being a title match, was very much like the first tag team match. Both teams had their moments and opportunities, and the Beverleys in particular had the edge, and also in terms of keeping one man in their corner, and you know uh, having being able to keep it was Typhoon mostly in their corner. Now some fun facts here. Maybe most of you know this, but just throwing it out there. Of course, the genius, the Beverly's
Yeah, he's
manager.
awesome. He's
I
awesome. Yeah.
I think you know where I'm leading.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Here's his brother. Here's his
Yep.
brother, right? Leaping Lonnie Palfo, right? So
Yep.
we got a brotherhood there. And then just for the record too, the Beverleys were not really brothers. Although
No, of course not.
if you look at them closely, they sort of do look alike. With they both had the blonde mullet
Next,
hair. Well, that was the thing at the time, anyway.
next, you're gonna tell me that Edge and Christian and Undertaker and Kane aren't brothers. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, sure they were. Sure they were. Right. Sure they were. But and then another little fun fact here, Typhoon. You some of you may remember this infamous moment, the Shockmaster. The
Oh
Shockmaster,
yeah, that
the
was
guy
him.
who
Yeah,
crashed through the guy who crashed through a wall during an interview in
yeah.
WCW, right? So that's the
Hang
for
on,
the record,
hang
that's the
on
same
one
guy
second.
too.
Hang
Hmm.
on one second. We got to shout out Mag Life. What's up, Mag Life? Saying what's
Okay,
up. Yep.
thanks. Thank you. Thank
Well,
you.
I hope you
Well,
enjoy. I hope you enjoy the show. Christian ain't here this week, but he'll be back next week. Me and him, we're gonna do Unforgiven 2002, one of my favorite pay per views.
yeah, I'm. Let's just say I'm CJ with extra hormones.
What's that? What's that
I'm
even mean? Oh
I'm
no, no, I see what you mean. I see what you're saying.
with different hormones.
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, there you go. Right. There's a laughing moment.
That went over my
CJ, we
head
love
for
you,
like.
bro. We
Yeah,
love
that
you,
went
bro.
over my head. That went over my head for like a
That's
quick
okay.
second,
A lot of things
like
go over my head. Trust me.
I'm talking about like Unforgiven '02, and then you come out of nowhere with that. I'm like, wait,
You like
what?
that, eh?
You're like, what?
That was a wow moment.
Let me
Anyway,
just say, for this match, yeah, Beverly Brothers, great tag team.
mhm. Yeah, they
Not
were
one of the
okay.
all time greats, not one of the all
No.
time greats, but I thought they were solid heel tag teams.
Hmm.
And pairing them with the Genius was perfect. Genius
Yeah,
was a tremendous manager, man.
yeah. And even the poem was funny.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and
I know
and
what day it is.
and I could quote it even. I'm like,
Yeah.
from the home of the Winter Games of 1948 and the World Cup of 1966. I know the date. Now
Yeah.
it's SummerSlam at Wembley, and the genius holds the key. Behold the future champions, the brothers Beverly. I
Yeah.
remember it like it was yesterday. Is that
I
crazy? Right?
that hey,
It's
you're a
great.
fan. You're a fan.
Yeah,
That's awesome. That's
yeah,
awesome.
crazy. But overall, it was an excellent tag team title match, and
Yeah.
good for the Disasters and fellow Canadian John Tenta, Earthquake.
Yep.
Earthquake was an amazing big man. Like he always used his size to the best. Coming to his when it comes to his moves and stuff, and even later on during a short singles run, amazing. I mean, of course,
Yeah.
there was the infamous sumo wrestling match
I
with
remember that. Yeah.
Yoko, '94 on Raw, and that was amazing. To bring in another form of wrestling pretty much into the mainstream. So
Yes.
good for Earthquake to participate in something like that, and he was a great tag team partner of Typhoon, and they made an amazing team, no doubt.
Nice.
Not
So
one of my favorites either, but still pretty amazing run as champions. Mhm.
right. So next, another filler match. Crush defeating Repo Man.
Repo Man.
Repo Man was a great gimmick, but yeah, this
Yeah,
match
he was
itself.
funny. He was
Yeah, this
funny, but now I got another little history background, and whether we as fans, I mean, and I had mentioned this before too, we didn't have social media or internet to look up stuff. But a fun
no.
fact about this match, you know of Demolition, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so before Crush was the Hawaiian fun loving Crush, right? He was
Right.
the third member of Demolition, right? Of course, along with Axe and Smash. Now, Smash, the guy who was Smash, was the same fella who was Repo Man. So you
That's
basically
cool.
got two former tag team partners against each other, but of course in
This
different
is the
characters.
breakup angle. Yeah, this is the
Yes,
breakup
in
angle.
a way it was, but
Yeah,
the question will always remain. I mean, were there some super fans out there who knew this? I mean,
yeah.
there might have. We don't
I
know.
honestly did not know that about Repo Man. I honestly
Yeah,
did not know.
but it was the same fella who was Smash and Demolition. I mean, I had looked these up just out of curiosity, like nothing else to do, and I think, oh, okay, I'm watching different biographies and interviews with some of these guys. Like I would run into recommended watchings on Facebook Watch, and so they would talk about these things, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So it was cool, and yes, this was definitely another filler match. There was no build
Yeah.
up at all, and Crush comes up with a victory, and yeah, not a bad
So we
match
just
overall. Both of them had the power,
right.
but Repo was a little more like scrap daddy, like the
Yeah.
not a great wrestler, but
That's
he had
funny.
he had his moments.
That's funny that you said Repo Man was like Scrap Daddy.
Sort of, yeah.
That's
Sort of.
funny that you would say that because back when Adam Pierce was in Ring of Honor, they used to call him Repo Man. It's
Oh
funny.
yeah, his
And
well, actually his Twitter handle is Scrap Daddy, right?
that's why I said
Yeah, that's right.
his nickname on the Indies was Scrap Daddy Iron Pierce.
Interesting. But they called him
Adam
Repo
Pierce.
Man. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know
That's
what that
something.
was, but they did call him Repo Man.
That's
One
really
of the
strange.
funniest One of the funniest usernames just popped up and said, "What's up? Bobby Lashley is my dad." What's up, Bobby Lashley is my dad?
The Almighty, the Almighty's in the house. Interesting. That's
No, no,
something.
no.
Well,
His son
for,
or daughter is in the house.
ah, well, for the record, my name here, Good Mania. I mean, I thought, okay, what the hell? My last name's Goodman, so what the
Oh
hell?
yeah, that's
I'll
perfect.
I'll
Yeah.
sc- I'll I'll attach the idea of Mania. So what the
Yeah.
hell? So I'll,
And
I'll pretty much keep that.
my name is playoff bound
For your
because my
Mets.
team about to win 100 games this year, and
There
we're
you go.
walking into the playoffs.
There you go. All right. Now, I know you're not crazy about dark matches, but and I
There
didn't
were a
even
lot.
bring I didn't even
I
bring the figure,
I
but
like I like dark matches. I
oh, okay,
wish
that's
they
fine.
yeah, yeah.
Because we're coming up to one now. So
Not
was it
yet.
in
Not yet. We're
well,
almost there,
wait.
but not yet.
So
Uh,
when was this always confused me. The
yeah.
Tatanka Berserker
that was
match.
after that was after Undertaker and Kamala.
Oh, it was after that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
I thought it was before the title match.
There was all no. There was all
That always
according to
confused me.
Wikipedia. According to Wikipedia, no. There was also
Oh,
two. There was also two darks at the beginning of the show.
yeah. Tito
Jim
Santana against
Duggan.
Papa Shango.
Yes, that was the second one, and then
Hmm.
the opener for the night was a 6-man tag:
Yeah.
Jim Duggan and
Yep.
the Bushwhackers versus
Yeah.
the Mountie and the Nasty Boys. I like the
Right.
Mountie. I wish the Mountie was on the show, man, instead of a dark
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Lucky you, because the SummerSlam '92 DVD that was
Hmm.
just released only for you in well, you're Canada, right? I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know if
right.
it's available. I don't know if it's available for Canada. I know it's available in the UK. It might not
It
be
is.
available. Oh,
I
it is
saw that
available in Canada.
because I saw a photo of a fan holding on to it, and
Oh, okay.
again, all out of curiosity, I looked it up to see if it was available in Canada. But
And it is.
as of now, it's still only available for fans in the
Okay.
UK.
Well,
But yeah,
yeah.
I know what you're leading up to. It's like a 30th anniversary edition Blu-ray,
Not just that. Yeah.
and yeah,
Not
and
just
not
that, but the dark matches are on there.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I am
That's
thinking
crazy.
I was considering grabbing that, but if it becomes available in Canada, then maybe I will.
I think you could buy it from like somebody on eBay, probably.
On
I
eBay. It's
Yeah,
a
if they
thought.
ship to yeah.
It's a thought. Maybe,
I
but
don't know if the region thing would be a problem. If it'll play in like a Canadian or a US DVD player, I don't know. That might be the
mm,
problem.
yeah, that's the problem. But I mean, more recently when I would just watch this event on the network, I would just I found the Tino Santana match and the Tatanka match are on YouTube, so I would just watch them and then go back to the network video. But the 6-man tag, I don't think you can find it on YouTube. But nonetheless, those were fine matches too overall.
So
The one with Tatanka was my favorite because he was one of my favorites, and of course continuing his undefeated streak. So that was fine.
I can't speak on any of the three because I've never seen them. If
Yeah,
somebody can get me, if I can get that UK DVD, maybe I could see them. But
I
no,
would.
I've never seen those.
It's a consideration, but moving on to the big one now.
I personally hate Blu-ray. That little blue box. That's why I don't buy Blu-ray DVDs
Yeah.
because I hate the blue boxes. But yeah,
Hmm.
this is where the show picks up. The undercard was a little hit and miss, but
Hmm.
this is where the show picks up.
Yeah.
Ultimate Warrior, and you see, you got the axe fit. No Ultimate Warrior figure.
I had one, but I actually ended up selling it to another buddy of mine. But I just sort of kept it in my mind that Savage was a little more of my favorites more than Warrior.
I
Yeah,
love both of them. I love both
yeah.
of them, and this
This
is
was
This is for me my favorite match of the night. This is
yeah,
match of the night for me.
and
Warrior
I
and Savage for the title.
and I
Uh,
remember I remember the first few times that I would watch this event, much less this match. This was one of, if not the first, really long match that I watched. Like
right.
it was definitely well over a
It was
20,
28.
25 minute.
It was exactly 28 minutes according to Wikipedia.
Yeah, I was going to say it was probably well over 25 minutes for sure.
Right.
And for what it's worth, I know this is going to sound strange, but I would literally find myself counting um, how many pinfall attempts there were in this match because it just went on for so long that, how many pinfalls is it going to take for one of these guys to eventually pick up the victory? And for what it's
Right.
worth, I remember there were 17, 17
Wow.
total attempted pinfalls in this
Nice.
match. Yeah,
Just under
17.
20.
That's right,
Man.
just under 20 pinfalls. It's got to be one of the longest recorded matches, or for that matter, title matches in history. It's got to be.
Well,
It's got to be up there.
you got a couple Iron Man matches. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
that
Yeah.
too, right? But I
There's
mean,
been
there
30-minute
were
matches. There's been
yeah,
40-minute matches. So I don't know if
yeah,
it's really that. I don't know if it's up
yeah.
there as one of the longest. But
There's been
maybe.
so many. There's so many points in this match we could touch base on, and of course the history is crazy. With the whole thing with who's
Flair and
whose corner is Perfect going to be in, and that whole story was just crazy. I mean, clearly he was still with Flair, and you know, just but it did bring out the best in both competitors. They were both at their peak, and I
right.
mean, Warrior for that matter, he was near the end of his at least his first WWE run. So what better way to sort of climax his time there by this classic match. I mean,
Let me-
like what was the best highlight for you during the match itself?
Oh, the whole thing. It was just
The whole
that. It
thing.
was that
Yeah,
the
it's so
crowd. The crowd
yeah.
was going crazy. It was two mega stars
Mhm.
head to head. It was fun.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about Warrior. So
Mhm.
I've said it. I say it all the time. I don't know how many times I've said it on the channel. I've probably said it a couple times. Hulk Hogan is my favorite of all time. If
Okay.
Ultimate Warrior, if Ultimate Warrior didn't have all those stops and starts to his career, he got
Mhm.
fired at the
Mhm.
end of this year, as you alluded to, because
Mhm.
of steroids. He came back
Yep.
in '96 and then
Mhm.
sadly got fired again.
Mhm.
All those stops and starts. His WCW run didn't last that long. If
Yeah.
if he would have had a long run, a longer run, no fired because of steroids, no fired because of the dad situation with Vince in '96,
Mhm.
he'd be my number two right behind Hogan. He was that
Mm.
good to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it all came down to being a classic match because both of
Yeah.
them were both of them were the same move styles, like powerful and tactical, and any kind of wrestling style and any kind of wrestling move you can think of was there. And even I remember Vince saying, he said this during one of the title matches, whether it was this one or the Intercontinental title match. He's like, I think we've seen just about every wrestling move there is. Something
Probably
like
Brett.
that.
Yeah, probably Brett and Bulldog probably
Yeah.
said that. Yeah,
So, but that totally ties in with this match too, and once again, the moniker of this event, the SummerSlam you thought you'd never see,
yeah.
totally down to a T. Because again, you had mentioned it too. Yeah, two.
But that says it
Yeah,
right there, right in the middle of
right
Savage and
there,
Warrior.
right there.
Yep.
Two fan favorites, two faces. The crowd was split right down the middle. I even remember seeing a kid dressed as Savage, and then Warrior posters, Savage posters all over the place. You know, I mean, you would think that in those days you were able to pick and choose who you would cheer for and who you would boo for, but not in this case here. And the crowd just didn't have a clue, but yet it made it more exciting. So
Yeah.
this was such a gem of a match.
And
it's just difficult to pick out.
their their WrestleMania match, what was it, 7? The
Six,
retirement match? 6,
six,
okay. That
six.
one, no, it can't be 6 because Hogan faced Warrior at 6.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Whoops.
I think it was 7. I'm pretty sure it was 7. The retirement match,
That's
Savage.
right. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. That's right.
That
Mhm.
that match was just a little better than this one here at SummerSlam. The retirement match was
Interesting.
so good. That's one of my favorite WrestleMania matches of all time.
Oh, maybe I
Like
should
I'm,
check that out too.
oh yeah,
Actually, it's
definitely,
funny.
definitely.
So that's WrestleMania 7 in '91. The
Yes.
only match I remember because they touched base on it during WrestleMania 10 because it was like the 10 and they were looking back. So for number 7 in '91, they mentioned a blindfold match
Yeah, yeah,
between
yeah.
Jake the Snake and the model. So
That was good. That was
they
good. Yeah.
showed clips of that match, and I'm like, okay, how can they wrestle blindfolded, and how did that come all about? So
I was.
you're getting me wondering. So maybe if I
We
have a chance, I'll look at it.
WrestleMania 10 is definitely one we got to cover too.
Oh
Definitely.
yes,
Yes.
you better include me in that. Yeah.
Well, you will be. He's Christian won't be there. He said he doesn't want to cover early mid '90s stuff.
That's
So
fine. Yeah.
so I gotta have you. I can't do this by myself. So
Yeah,
you
good.
gotta do it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yes.
so the
Yes.
next
Savage and Warrior phenomenal. Yeah.
yeah, more than phenomenal. Yeah. All right. So the next one was yeah, yeah, the
Undertaker
Undertaker,
and Kamala.
Undertaker, and another James. Oh, I looked him up once. What was Kamala's real name? James
Oh, I'm
someone.
not sure. I'm
I
not
looked it
sure.
up once. I looked him up once, but you know, Kamala was an interesting character. At the time, I actually found myself looking forward to his matches, whether it was on Superstars or during this event. I was actually looking forward to this match very much, just to see what he was like in the ring. And
Yeah.
even though Taker had already been there for a couple of years, he had already, in my mind, certified himself as a top guy and as an attraction, if you will. And look, in the first year of his existence in WWE, he already wins a title. Remember
Yeah.
Survivor Series '91, right? Beats
Yep.
Hogan. Hogan, the
Yep.
top guy of all guys, right? So there's no question that
Def-
well deserved Hall of Fame induction, and then it was about damn time. You know what I mean, right?
Well,
Too
he
long
kept
it took.
going.
He
He
kept
kept
going. That's
going.
right.
That's
Yeah,
the thing. Yeah.
he was an
That's why
active.
it took so long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the match itself, you know what? It was a short match, but it was too short. I actually would have liked this match to go longer, and I
They
had
had
been.
to they had to give enough time to both the two big matches,
Mm-hmm,
Sean and Brett and Bulldog, and then Warrior and Savage. That's why
yeah,
there was a lot of short matches on here.
yeah,
Uh,
but
I didn't
but
really I didn't really have a problem with this match. I thought it was pretty good. I think it was like 10 minutes long. Honestly, let me check. I gotta pull up the Wikipedia again. Hang on 1 second.
mm,
I don't think it was really that short. It might have been. Let me see.
mm,
Let
yeah.
me see. Uh, oh, you're right. It was 3 minutes.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
three minutes.
it was even shorter than 5 minutes. So
Yeah,
that really sucked because I mean, at least in my eyes, both guys were pretty amazing superstars at the time. You know, Taker was
yeah,
just starting out, and you know, this was
yeah.
Kamala's first pay per view. But he was a great matchup to Taker's
For
character, yeah, to Taker's character because you know, the big savage type character,
yeah,
but being put finally being put to the test because you know on his superstar matches he would just knock out the guy and that's it. But
yeah,
the same thing with Taker, right? So they were both
yeah, right.
matched up in that
Yeah,
sense. They were both matched up pretty well. So, but like a couple of others matches in this event, this was also the start of a rivalry and a build up
yeah,
to of course the first ever they called it a coffin match or a casket
right,
match,
right.
Survivor Series
Survivor
'92,
Station.
which also I found one of the most exciting matches of that event.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this: which match do you feel was overall better? Their encounter here at the SummerSlam '92, or the casket match at Survivor Series
Yeah,
'92?
the casket match. I will say this about this match though.
Mm-hmm.
For as short as it was, they did have the crowd pretty into it behind
Yeah,
Undertaker. The thing about that, Undertaker's early mid 90s, after he like goes babyface, because when he first came in, he was
it
the
was a
heel
heel.
at first
That's right.
that all the kids
Mm-hmm.
were afraid of. Once he goes babyface, like you watch almost any Undertaker match from the early mid 90s, they are going crazy for him. They're chanting
That's right.
rest in peace. You know,
Yeah.
they that's why I love watching his matches from back then. Even the Undertaker match 2 years later, Survivor Series, SummerSlam
SummerSlam
'94, and
'94. Yeah.
everybody makes fun of that match. I freaking love that match. That
I
was
loved it
phenomenal.
too, and it and I for what it's worth too. Well, you know what? I'll save that for a SummerSlam '94 review.
Yeah,
We'll touch
yeah,
base more on that at another time. But
yep,
yeah, even back in the day, I like I said, I found myself looking forward to both Undertaker's matches and, for that matter, Kamala's matches because
yeah,
they were just so much more uh, exciting characters. And well, actually, I even remember being scared when they would interview Kamala, like on Superstars. He would be like,
yeah.
that scared me. I remember running out of the room during those interviews. That scared me
See,
because, you
yeah,
know, that scared
my
me.
my childhood fearing a wrestler moment was Kane. When
Mm,
I was 10 years old, and I was
mhm,
actually I was 9 when he unmasked, but I was
mhm.
there when he unmasked too. And when I
Oh,
first saw that face, I was like, "Damn, what the hell?" Because they had the burn makeup
yeah,
to make
yeah.
it look like he was burned.
Hmm.
At that moment, I wasn't really scared, but
Hmm.
a couple weeks later, like literally a week before my 10th birthday, they
Hmm.
had him set JR on fire. And like
Wow.
from there on, I like couldn't even watch Raw because I
Oh
didn't
my
want to see
God.
things. I was
Gave you
so freaking
nightmares, right?
afraid. Yeah,
It
oh,
gave
it
you
did. I
nightmares,
couldn't
right?
sleep. I
Yeah.
remember so well I could not sleep that night. I
Mm,
remember like trying to go to sleep that night. I was so scared. I was thinking
yeah.
like Kane. I was thinking like Kane was gonna like pop out of the TV and try to set me off.
Oh God. Well, in a way, that's how I felt about Kamala. Like the spear
Yeah,
he was holding, was he gonna poke through my TV and like
yeah,
and try to cook me? Because when I mentioned the word cook, I remember during Undertaker's entrance, which again that comes into play. The SummerSlam you thought you'd never see. He comes out the back of a hearse. I mean,
Yeah.
how innovative was that, right?
Yep.
But he comes down, heads towards the steps, and Heenan says like, "Well, Kamala's gonna put him in a pot and cook him." I mean, ugh, my God, another classic
Yeah,
Heenan line.
he's
Only
the
Bobby
GOAT.
Heenan would say that,
Yeah.
and you know, it's it was just funny. But the match itself was amazing, but it should have been longer, no question.
Oh, definitely. 3 minutes was way too short. And
Yeah,
if they would have got more time, that could have been a really fun match.
yeah.
But
To
for like I said, and I'm not a fan of short matches. Like I said, we've gone through this card, and I said that match was too short. That match was too short.
Yeah,
But what I love about a pro wrestling match is when the crowd's hanging on the wrestlers' every move. And
yeah,
for that match, as short as it was, they were because the fans were
yeah.
behind Undertaker.
Oh,
And
no
like I said,
question. Yeah.
with Undertaker at that time period, they always went nuts. You could put him in the ring with a freaking
A
broom,
jobber, a
and yeah,
jobber.
well, a local guy, yeah, but I mean like something that doesn't even move, like a broom,
Hmm.
and they'd still
Yeah,
go crazy. They'd be like Undertaker, or they'll
yeah,
just chant "Rest in Peace" at a broom.
yeah. And even I mean, I remember watching like only a couple of events before SummerSlam '92 because I wanted to expand my playlist, if you will, a little bit. So I have
Mhm.
watched the '92 Rumble, and of course I've watched WrestleMania 8 a couple of times now. And you don't really see. I mean, obviously Taker was involved in both those events, but you don't really see as much fan reaction as you did here at the SummerSlam because it even came down to there was a guy and a girl together. The girl was really dressed well as Taker, and they have the camera on them just as Taker is coming into the ring. She's looking
Yeah,
down like this, right? And there's a guy right beside her.
Hmm.
Also in a Taker cosplay. So
right.
so you saw the crowd, like you were saying, the crowd was really very much into it, but not as much before then because I guess they were just getting the hang of or the getting used to the idea of the character. So
Kamala
it
or
I
Under.
mean Undertaker for sure.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, yeah.
This was only his
Kamala,
second
Kamala, for
year,
that matter, it didn't really have to take us much time because we didn't see much of him in terms of pay-per-views
right?
after the Survivor Series, but he would do the odd match once Raw started, but that's about it.
Yeah.
So there really wasn't much
And
to get used
Superstar,
to.
he was on a couple Superstars too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
superstars, but when it came to the more, I guess, fans were
yeah,
tuning in, obviously more to Raw once it got up and running. He was only on Raw maybe a couple of times, and so there really wasn't much to get used to. And for the
yeah.
matter, too, Kamala didn't suit me as a face. When he finally dumped Whippleman and Kimchi, who incidentally was the Brooklyn Brawler, same guy.
Wait a minute, really?
Yeah, that's right.
I
The
did not
Brooklyn
know that.
Brawler, the Brooklyn Brawler, and Kimchi, Kamala's henchman, as well as Abe Knuckleball Schwartz.
Well, I know that. I know
Abe
that. Yeah,
Knuckleball Schwartz. Those three were all the same guy,
that
all
was
the same
back
fella.
when that was I love when in '94 when they had the MLB strike.
Oh
They
yeah,
had
I'm on
Abe.
strike.
Yeah, they had Abe come out and say, "I'm on strike."
I'm on strike. Yeah, and Lawler goes,
Now,
or Lawler or Vince goes, "What's this? The White Sox?" Because they were in Chicago. You know.
I know you're a Blue Jays fan, but
Uh,
You live in Canada,
that's right.
so do you remember like how you were young in '94, right?
I
But
was
do you have
9. I was 9.
okay? Do you have any memories of like people being really excited for the Expos that year? Because
Oh
like the
gosh.
X,
Well, that had to be one of the first times that maybe I watched like there would be a lot of Blue Jays Expos matches,
Right.
especially on Canada Day, July 1st. So I remember watching those games more often, but I wouldn't exactly see a lot of Expos games, so I wasn't
Okay.
as exposed to them as
The
I
Expos.
was. Yeah, I miss them though. You know, I miss those
Yeah.
Canada Day matches. No,
See,
no
in
question.
'94, when the strike happened, the Expos were in first place.
Oh,
Like,
interesting.
so they might have been robbed of what would have been their first World Series title in the history of the franchise. And now, of course,
Interesting.
they got one back in 2019, but now,
Mm,
of course, they're no longer than the Expos. They're now the
the
Nationals.
Nationals. That's right. Yeah, the Nationals.
Who
But
knows if the strike?
there's been rumors going around that the Expos
Oh,
will be reinstated, but
that's
it's
been
still
going on for like 10,
yeah.
15 years. Like that.
Yeah, it's still only rumors, but nonetheless, hey, look, we got the future in Vladdy Jr. So
Oh,
he's been making our team and our city proud. So you know,
Bo Bichette, they got a
yeah,
lot of young talents, a lot of young like kids of former players too.
that's right. Yeah,
It's
we got the
crazy.
future, and I hope we can pull it off because
Maybe we'll see.
for the
Maybe we'll
first
see it
time
in
in
the
my
World Series.
life. For the first time in my life, I would love to go to a playoff game if I
Yeah,
can. Of course, if my bank account allows it to, that would be nice.
yeah.
I'll get
Well,
a loan from Money Inc.
those playoff tickets go for
They're
way too much.
crazy.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And health, yeah, I think I have a feeling. I know what you're referring to. I mean, there could be a chance we could meet in the World Series.
yep.
Yeah,
Maybe
I'm gonna
that'd be
kick
really
your
interesting.
ass. I'm gonna
Oh
kick
no,
your
you
ass.
you don't
Hey,
want none of the you don't
30,
want none of the
30
ground.
years, another 30 years in the making, bro. Okay, we had our first of our two in a row World Series. This is our year.
And now this, and now you would
This is our
start
year.
off the two in a row for the Mets.
Well, yeah, we're gonna kick your ass if we meet. I'm warning you.
Uh,
I'm warning you.
Jeff McNeil,
Anyway.
Jeff McNeil's gonna hit like 700 in the World Series against you guys if
Oh yeah.
you
Oh
face.
yeah.
So,
Oh yeah. Well, not only Vladdy, but Bo will hit. Tio will hit. My Springer Dinger, my little Georgie. Yeah, we're gonna
all the,
kick your ass. We're
all
gonna
those
kick your
great bats, all those great bats you got, they can't touch the ground.
It's all
They
right.
can't touch
We'll
the
see.
ground.
We'll see. First we have to claw and scratch, but
Yeah.
we'll do it. Now,
Okay.
speaking of
So
clawing and scratching,
yeah,
these
main
two
event time. Yeah, main
main
event time.
event time is right. Now, one of the first points I'd like to point out in this match, one of the first Bret Hart bios I ever watched was when he talked about this match, and he literally said like, you know, we were put on last. Let's see what you can do. So
Oh, I think that
that was
was that his '05 DVD.
yes, I think so. Yeah, because that's one of
I
the
have
first
that.
times. That's one of the first times I watched Brad talk about this match, and that was a great sign of respect for both of them because you know you're going to be the main event, whereas a lot of people I'm sure thought that the Savage and Warrior match were the main event, but
Right.
that that was pretty much split up too in terms of the fans, if you ask me. Like
Yeah.
what it was basically a double main event. It was.
With two,
There's no question
with
this was a double main event.
both of the main events are babyface versus babyface too. That's pretty
That's right.
crazy.
That's another point. These two
You
were
got
both fan favorites, but of course,
yeah,
being in the UK, the Bulldog had the home field advantage. There were Bulldog signs all over the place. There was the recognition, but um, you know, Brett sort of, excuse me, if you could call it that, he sort of took on the role as the heel in this match, you know, because of
right
course
because
the
Davy's
Bulldog.
hometown.
That's right. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, even back during the Heart Foundation days, they started out as heels, so that's sort of, now that I think of it, it's sort of brushed off. in that sense, right? But there's no question. Uh, there's no question. Both of them were at their peak, and I mean, you could call it sort of you could call it sort of a pre-screw job. I mean, this was 5 years before Montreal, but
Mhm.
you could call it sort of a screw job. I mean, Bulldog getting the victory in his home country, and Brett was on the losing end, losing the Intercontinental title. But it only look if you think about it too, it only led to better things. I had mentioned Flair before, and they felt that Brett was still a top guy, and that he deserved a title shot against Flair. And where does he win the title? In Saskatoon, his home country. You tell
Yeah,
me how ironic that was. Hmm?
yeah.
You tell me. But
Um,
but but with the match itself, I mean, brother-in-law against brother-in-law. I actually like how they had Diana Hart Smith, of course, Brett's sister and Davey's wife. She in a way she was on the battleground. She was there watching her husband and brother fight it out, and in a way
yeah,
too. Yeah,
adding Diana to the story was perfect too, definitely.
yeah, actually she was, and this sort of was even though it was a year later. In a way, you can think of this as sort of the start of the whole family thing. When it came to
Yeah,
Brett and Owen later on, and they even referred to it at the '94 SummerSlam just before the steel cage match.
right.
Davey was in the crowd right there, and I remember
Yep.
Lawler asking, do you have flashbacks? Don't you wish you were in there against Brad? He's like, no, no, I've had my run. Give the brothers their chance, right, to fight it out. So
Yep.
that that you know, just the whole thing with the family, you could call this match sort of a segue, sort of a beginning of more exposure that that the Hart family got throughout that time, and that's another big reason why I'm a big fan of this era, because I very much have all the respect in the world for the Hart family and what they've done for professional wrestling, much less in Canada as well. That's the Canadian in me. Being
Yeah,
such a fan of the Hart family, and who came after them. With Bulldog, of course.
right.
He became a brother-in-law before this match. But the match itself, very much like the Savage Warrior match, back and forth. And I had brought out what Vince said. He says, like, we've seen just about every wrestling move there was, and it's true. You saw suplexes, you saw clotheslines, you saw leaps over the top rope,
Right.
everything and anything. And and I've also thought about this too in the past, that this is a match that you can show to, like, if you run a wrestling school or something. This is a match that you can show to all the students. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yep.
And also a perfect example of that is the WrestleMania 10 match with Brett and
Britt,
Owen.
no. Yes.
Those two matches, you can show that to, like, a school or a room full of wrestling students or guys and girls who are just starting out or training, because you can pick up any situation or any move or whatever, a counter, how to deliver a move, how to just throw a punch, or how to deliver there was even in this match, there was even a superplex off the top rope. One of the first times I ever seen that. And
Yeah.
anything and anything with a good solid wrestling match you get from this match. And also, for that matter, the Savage Warrior match too. So,
Yeah, this was a great technical wrestling match. It
mhm,
was fun to watch.
for
Um,
sure.
I think sometimes when I talk about wrestling, people probably think I don't like technical wrestling, but I can enjoy it. Honestly, it's not my be all end all. That's the thing, but I can definitely enjoy it. But like I said, my match of the night is Warrior Savage. I enjoy a match like that more, where you got two mega stars, two larger than life stars, with the
Sure.
crowd hanging on their every move. Which
Hmm.
crowd was hanging on Brett and Bulldog's every move too. Like,
Yeah, for
both
sure.
you really can't go wrong with either match. I
Yeah,
lean more towards Warrior and Savage, but
yeah.
both of these two main events made this show a
Hmm.
classic.
Yeah. Now, speaking of classics too, if I remember correctly, there was a DVD compilation released of, excuse me, of either the greatest SummerSlam matches or the greatest Intercontinental title matches of all time, and this one, if I'm not mistaken, was actually ranked number one.
There was a um there
Would you agree
was
with it?
a for Intercontinental. I'd have to think of that. I'd have to
Mm,
think of that. There were a lot of great IC title matches.
yeah, one that comes to mind. Again, I can't recall ever. I can't recall ever watching it all the way through. But it also involved Brett, and that's the SummerSlam '91 match with Perfect.
Yes, yes.
That was pure class, right there in the Mecca, Madison Square Garden. You
There
know,
was
right
a
there in the Mecca.
greatest yeah, there was a greatest IC title match set that
Hmm.
was released in I want to say either '04 or '05. That
Hmm.
might be what you're thinking of. I don't
Yeah,
have that set, so I can't really say.
right. But I think this match here was, or if not, should have been ranked number one.
Hmm.
No
I
question.
would have to for favorite IC title match. I would have to think about that. But
Hmm.
this one would definitely be up there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd have it as one. I really got to think about that. Yeah,
Don't forget WrestleMania 10.
yeah. That was for the ladder match. Yes, the ladder
Mm-hmm.
match. No doubt.
Yeah, that's got to
Yep.
be in the top five of
Oh yeah.
IC title matches. That's got to be in the top five for sure. But yeah, overall, this match was amazing to say the very least, and I would go out and recommend that anyone who's like running a wrestling school or even like some of the past wrestlers who are um, running like a gym or something, or just like looking after guys and girls who are just starting out or training, show clips of this match, this
Yeah.
SummerSlam '92 match, and you'll pick up pointer after pointer after pointer. No
Yeah.
doubt. No doubt about it. In fact, I'll even go out on a limb and said if I did that, if I ran like a wrestling school or something, I would show clips of this match.
Right.
Highly, highly recommend. Yeah.
Natalia's wrestling school. Order now. Call us up now, and we'll get you hooked up to her wrestling school.
I follow her on
Located in
Twitter.
Canada.
I follow her on Twitter.
No, I'm talking
So
about you. I'm talking about
me.
you. I meant Natasha. I meant
Oh,
Natasha.
are
Because
you,
you said
yeah.
if you ever open a wrestling school, I'm just saying, well, call us
Yeah,
up.
if I ever did. But
Call us
I
up.
would
We're
definitely.
gonna. She's
Yeah,
located in Canada, so
that's right.
just call us up. We'll hook you up to maybe a year worth of training with Natasha.
Yeah, sure. Oh yeah, I could show wrestling moves, sure. But I would definitely show clips of this match, no doubt.
Yeah.
Um, actually, now that I think of it, out of curiosity, and I'll bring in just for you, I'll bring in a point in '97 that I actually enjoyed watching because it involved these two. Um,
Okay.
and of course, it happened on a Monday Night Raw.
I think I
How
know.
did
I know what you're talking about. That was a
the
great
Hart
match.
Foundation reunion?
Oh, the
No,
reunion.
no, the
Oh,
reunion in March of '97.
yes.
Brett Brett had put together a brand new Hart Foundation faction, and of course it
With
involved
Pillman
the Bulldog and Owen and
and Pillman.
Neidhart and eventually Pillman.
Yep.
I like that formation, you know, to
Yeah.
go up against what was developing to be eventually DX. So that was a very cool formation, because and even the way that's actually one of my favorite Monday Night Raw moments of all time. I
Hmm.
can rank that. I can rank that in the top 5 of my favorite Raw moments of all time.
So have
Um,
you seen was it Owen and Bulldog or was it Brett and Bulldog? The first ever European title match that happened on a
that
Raw in
was
'97.
that was Owen and Bulldog.
Owen and Bulldog, that was
Yeah,
phenomenal.
and that was also in the UK, and I believe Bulldog ended up winning that match. That was the first ever
Yep,
European title match. That's included
yeah.
on Owen's DVD, Heart of Gold.
I have that,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I have that too, and that was my very first exposure to that match, and that too, classic, classic, classic.
See,
A long, good long
that's
match.
what yeah. That's what I
Yeah,
thought you were talking about when you said
yeah,
it's like 197 moment.
yeah.
97 was a fun year, man. It was a
In
fun
that
year.
sense, yeah, I guess so. Because you had DX forming, and
Yeah.
you had the
The,
Heart Foundation faction, not just tag team like back in the day, but the actual
the
faction.
Undertaker Kane storyline,
Mhm. Yeah.
the Austin blowing up as a
Mhm.
mega star, that was the beginning of that.
Mhm.
The whole thing, the first stunner at Madison Square Garden when he
Mhm.
stunned Vince.
Mhm.
Oh man, there's so
Yeah.
much about '97 that was so damn good, man. That
Yeah.
was the beginning of the Attitude Era.
And
What?
of course, '97 was Survivor Series. You know what I'm talking
Oh
about.
yeah,
I once
had
talked
to.
to a guy who was there, who was in the crowd, and
Oh
I
really?
just asked him what it was like to be part of such a moment in history, and I don't exactly remember what he said, but I can only imagine being being in a crowd like that. Yeah. Uh huh.
Had to shell out a lot to get this one. It's a rare tape.
I'm
I think
sure.
it's because of the screw job. But yeah, this is
Hmm.
hard to find.
I
I was
mean, there's
lucky enough to get it in pretty good
there's
condition
no
too.
yeah there's no question that any at least any diehard wrestling fan has their own version of what happened. I mean, there's no if you ask me, there's no real set story as to what happened. I mean, everyone can say what they want when it comes, even when it comes to Vince himself, when it comes to Brett, when it comes to Sean, they all have their versions of this story. So
I
you really don't know who to believe if you think about it.
I
You really
can't
don't know who
blame
to believe.
I I can't blame Vince for what went down that night.
Mm-hmm.
Brett was on the way out.
Mm-hmm.
You just you're supposed to drop the belt to whoever your boss tells you to, especially on
That's
the
right.
way out.
Yeah,
Especially on the way out. And
that's right.
Brett didn't want to do it, and
Mm-hmm.
of course he's going to the competitor WCW.
Mm-hmm.
WCW has already shown that they're not afraid to take one of WWE's belts and do whatever they want with it. Put it on TV, throw it in a trash can.
Yeah,
So of course you don't want your competitor to have a hold of your property.
yeah,
Like you get Brett, but the belt's still their property. Oh
yeah.
boy, how you just
Well,
over here beating up on Bulldog now?
he
What
fell
Bulldog
down.
ever do?
He fell down.
But no, yeah,
Mhm.
that belt's WWE's property, and you don't want your competitor to have your property. Let them deface it however they want. So I totally get where Vince was coming in that whole situation.
Yeah,
Brett made it hard on him, and he had to do what he had to do.
yeah.
That's how I see
Right.
it.
You know what? Going back to like great intercontinental title matches. I even enjoyed very much, and I'm looking at the two of them right now. Saturday night's main event. I believe it was October of '92.
I know what you're talking
Sean,
about. Yeah.
yeah, Sean winning his first IC title from the Bulldog. That too is another true classic match.
Yes.
Both guys having their opportunity, and good for Sean that catapulted Sean's thing, and you know,
Yeah.
Bulldog had a short run. He was in I believe he was in the 91 Rumble as well as the 92 Rumble. So he was there for a couple of years, but of course he was also in a tag team along with the Dynamite Kid, and they had a couple of
Yeah.
tag team title runs. So
He
Bulldog had
also had
a good run in
he,
his own right.
he had a short run with WCW too, and then he came
Very
back in
short.
'99. Yeah,
Yeah,
he came
very
back in
short.
'99.
Yeah.
I kind of enjoyed his '99 run, even though that was short.
Hmm.
They did some good. They turned him heel. They did the thing where he got mad. It was a UK pay per view. I think it was Invasion, not Invasion. What do they call it? Insurrection. Yeah, I think it
Oh,
was
okay.
Insurrection '99.
Hmm.
And Bulldog, I guess, got screwed out of some situation. He was trying to
Oh.
get a title match or
Hmm.
something. He got angry because Vince didn't, Mr. McMahon didn't
Yeah.
give it to him. So he stormed into Mr. McMahon's office. Mr.
Hmm.
McMahon, Shane McMahon, and Stephanie were there.
Hmm.
And he picks up a trash can, throws it across the room because he's so angry. He's not getting what he wants, and
Wow.
the trash can ends up hitting Stephanie McMahon, and
Wow.
that
Crazy.
was the beginning of Bulldog's heel run. That was
Mm.
pretty damn good. It
How
was
did you
short.
like how did you like his short tag team stint with Luger, the Allied Powers?
Oh, I love the Allied Powers. I'm a
I
big
did
Luger
too.
fan. I'm a
Yeah,
big
I
Luger
did
fan.
too. Whenever we get to WrestleMania 11, we'll definitely touch base on that. Being the
And
two muscle powerhouses that they were, that actually was smart. Whoever came up with pairing them together as a team. Too bad they didn't. As far as I know, they didn't win the titles. But
Luger, no, Luger left for WCW. That's what
yeah,
happened. That's why
oh
that
yeah,
was short.
the infamous what was it,
Mall
the
of
first
America.
Nitro or
First
something? It
Nation,
was
yeah.
the Mall of America, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the very first Nitro. Yeah,
What the hell is he doing there?
I know, right? It's crazy how much WCW moments I remember because I barely watched it because I was loyal to
Oh,
especially I mean, okay, maybe not so much during the Monday Night Wars themselves, but I was always loyal to for Raw because I barely watched Nitro, much less
see,
Thunder or anything like that. I never ordered a single WCW pay per view for that matter, but I remember things that stand out, like
right.
Hogan showing up and the NWO forming, right? The new world order of wrestling, brother. That
Yeah.
that was sick.
So,
I
so I didn't become a fan until Thanksgiving 2002. So
Mhm.
WCW had been under for about a year plus
Yeah,
at that point.
yeah.
But this is again where the network comes into play. I
Hmm.
watched every Nitro, every Thunder on the network. I watched some of the pay-per-views. Now have some of the pay-per-views on VHS.
Hmm.
I love WCW, especially towards the end. The
Hmm.
the years that everybody gives them
Hmm.
shit for. I love WCW in 2000,
Hmm.
especially for the Nitros. That's one of my favorite years ever.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
that's how I feel about especially and very specifically WrestleMania 11. I've
oh
seen
yeah,
I've seen a lot of fans give a bad rap, like
they do.
they say it's like the worst WrestleMania ever. I a
Oh,
million percent disagree. That was one of my favorites, and
but
95, I mean, was in a way
95 was a fun
better.
year for me. I enjoyed
It
95.
was. It was.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, a lot of fans
Now,
have given it bad rap, but
yeah.
again,
Now
once
you
we get
follow.
to yeah,
Yeah, you follow my Twitter account, the 90 to
yeah,
96. I put the
that's right.
nice little tribute account for
Hmm.
that time period. So
Hmm.
I'm sure you've seen how many times I've mentioned WrestleMania 11, talking about how underrated it is.
Sure,
Nine
big time.
and 11, nine
Yeah.
and 11 to me are the two most underrated WrestleManias ever.
Well, you'll
Those are
see once
fun
we
shows.
all you viewers out there, once we get to those events and reviewing those events, you'll see how much we get to talk about it and how many
Well, I
amazing
can't wait. I
moments.
can't wait to talk
I
about
can't wait
Legend,
either.
especially
Yeah,
especially LT versus Bam Bam. That was a
yeah,
tremendous match.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I even remember the build up to that too. Again, like it was yesterday. But when it comes to Raw again, I mean, you were saying you've watched every single Nitro, right? That's
Yep.
what I'm going to do. I mean, I have the first two seasons of Raw on DVD, but what I'll do once we start doing like every so often the very first episodes of Raw, once we mark the 30th anniversary, whatever, that's
Mhm.
what I'll do. I'll whenever I get like you got me onto Superstars, right? So now
Yeah.
once the 30-year mark comes around, I'll I'll definitely start getting more familiar with
Mm.
the first year or two of Raw
Now,
because I'll definitely want to review that.
when you say the first two seasons of Raw on DVD, you're talking about that set they released from 2010, right?
That's
That's
right.
just highlights. Yeah, that's just highlights. I got that DVD too. It's
Oh,
really good. Yeah,
oh,
it's really
oh.
good.
Okay. Yeah,
I
it
love
wasn't.
that.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly every single
Mm,
match. It was just like
mm,
select picks,
yeah,
and one of the first ones I can remember was right after the 1993 Royal Rumble with Flair and Perfect. Loser leaves
yeah.
WWE match,
There's
and
always yeah,
that had to be one of the first like stipulation type matches I had ever got
yeah.
exposed to. But we'll get to those once
Right.
we get around to that. So that'll be exciting. Hmm.
So overall thoughts on SummerSlam '92?
Oh gosh. Well, like I've said all along, the moniker or the ad campaign of the the SummerSlam you thought you'd never see totally lived up to its name. They For us fans, there were definitely all kinds of moments and match highlights that, no question, we thought we'd never see. So, in terms of rating, overall, you know what? You know what? There was once a great intercontinental champion who once said, "That's just perfect."
Hmm.
I give it a perfect 10. Yeah.
I would I would give this about an 8.5.
Okay.
Uh, the undercard was hit or miss. Like you had Shawn and Rick Martel, that was great. You
Mm-hmm.
had the opening tag match, that was great. But
Mm-hmm.
there was a lot of filler with Crush, Repo Man.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other one? Oh yeah, Virgil's match. Who did he face
Mm-hmm.
again?
Nails.
Nails, right? For
Nails.
some reason, I can't find it on the box here. For some reason, it's not on the box. I don't know why.
Interesting.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't get that, but yeah, there was filler on the undercard. What was it? Undertaker Kamala should have been a little longer.
That's right.
But I get it. You got to build towards Survivor Series. I understand what they were doing
Mm-hmm.
there, but
Mm-hmm.
I would have liked for that match to go on a little longer.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the main events, the two big matches, Savage and
Double main
Warrior,
event.
Brett and Bulldog was what made this show, and that's why I give it 8.5, just under a 9. Maybe if the undercard was a little better, this could have been 9, 9.5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
But it definitely brought all the top guys at their best. Whether they were undercard or main event, it really didn't matter. It
right.
brought out the best in every single superstar who was involved, and the commentary
Maybe,
too, of course. Yeah,
yeah, oh yeah. Like I said, Bobby Heenan, he's the goat, man. It
he
tells
really
you,
is. Yeah.
it just tells you enough how great this show is that here we
Hmm.
are 30 years later, and it's getting a re-release.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, and it
Right
deserves
there.
it because you want to feel young again. You want to look back, and
That'd be a little
that's
too
what.
young for me. That'd be a little too young
Yeah,
for me.
right.
That's a month
You were an
old.
infant. You were an infant, but nonetheless, my point is that it makes you feel. That's why I love doing things like this.
Right.
You feel young again, and I want to thank you again for what you've done for me
Yeah.
to make me aware of course, superstars on the network, and I'm looking forward to looking back on Raw once the 30th anniversary
It's
comes
funny.
around.
It's funny
Yeah.
too, because like you said, I do update people. Like, I post on my Facebook or on the
Hmm.
WWE 9096 whenever Superstars goes on the network. The
Hmm.
last, so the last couple of times, like at least the last two updates, the last two drops when it
Hmm.
was Superstars, I
Hmm.
wasn't even subscribed to Peacock at the time, so
Oh,
I wasn't aware at the time because I wasn't even following it. But
yeah, I hadn't seen updates from you, so I was wondering.
right,
But
yeah.
nonetheless, I mean, I actually when I got to the end of '94 with Superstars, I
Yeah.
had actually stopped. I stopped
Mm,
because I wasn't too familiar like afterwards, you know, and
mm,
even the characters were getting ridiculous. Like the beginning of '95, leading up to the '95 Rumble, you know, you got Aldo Montoya, you got Mantar. I mean, big deal. I didn't care for these guys. You know, who were they? They were just characters to me. So you know,
Um,
even the guys who a lot of the guys who participated in the '95 Rumble, from what I remember,
yeah,
they weren't great. You know, I mean, and again too, I would definitely looking forward to if we or when we do like a Royal Rumble '94 review or Royal Rumble
yeah,
'93. You know, those I'm
yeah,
more familiar with, and
right.
I'm really looking forward to it.
So
As a matter of fact, can I throw out any ideas as to the next time we do a pay per view
the next,
review? As
yeah, the next time it's me and you, yeah, go ahead.
okay, well, let's see. Let me look at my calendar here as to the next time I'll be home, if I
Let
may.
me, so,
Well,
yeah,
I know you and CJ are gonna do. You were saying Unforgiven
I'm
2000
forgiving
something.
O2. Yeah, O2
Okay.
next
Well,
week.
that's next week. That's fine. But the following week, let's see. Well, you know what? Oh, yeah, you were saying you can't do Mondays.
No,
Let's see.
Mondays or Tuesdays.
Okay. You know what? If anything, I can keep you up to date about like maybe mid
Yeah,
October.
yeah.
You know,
What's
mid
the show?
October.
Yeah,
The
what's the show you
show,
want to do?
the show can be. You know what? Let's maybe go in order. Let's start going in order. You know, we did SummerSlam '92 today. The next time, let's do Survivor Series '92.
Okay,
Yeah, sounds good.
definitely, yeah.
Okay,
Uh,
so
I
there you
was
go,
gonna say,
folks. So,
I was gonna say before we finish,
mhm,
because I was talking about the whole not being subscribed when they were dropping. So like
mhm,
like early this month, I resubscribed and like I
mhm.
started looking through the superstars. I'm like, wait, what the hell? They're up to January of '96 already. Damn, I've been
Yeah,
missing
that's how
this.
long it's been. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's how long it's been, I guess.
I'm
Hmm.
glad they're finally into '96. I'm very excited. I
Hmm.
want to watch those superstars. I still got to finish '95. I've
Hmm.
really been enjoying the '95 superstars. I can't wait to get to '96.
Hmm.
But
I mean,
there's
the
only
one
like one
thing
episode of '96 up right now.
the one thing that sticks out to me in '96 was, of course, the double Royal Rumble win for Shawn. You know, and also, of course, in his home of San Antonio, that was at the Alamo Dome, and
That was the next year. That was '97.
wait a
Alamo
minute.
Dome.
No,
That
no,
was
no, 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 no.
'97.
He won the '95 Rumble, and then the
Yeah, and
'96.
then '96. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
but no. Alamo Dome. I'm gonna pull it. I got it right here. Hold on. Uh,
Are you
hang on
sure the
one.
'96 Rumble wasn't in San Antonio?
No, no.
Oh, oh,
Maybe
okay.
it was, but not in Alamo Dome. Alamo
Because
Dome was right here, '97.
oh, I
That's
see.
Sean and Sid. Sean and
On
Sid
Sid,
first one.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, the double Royal Rumble match win was '95, '96. Because wasn't '96?
You talking about? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I believe Sean won back to back, '95,
yeah,
'96. In fact,
that's right.
the second time he kicked Diesel over the top rope. So that definitely had to be '96.
Oh, right,
That
right,
definitely had to be '96
right.
because if
Yeah.
it was '97, Diesel would have been gone by then.
Right, right. Yeah, that's when he came out with a cowboy hat and his tights were like with the Texas flag in the
No, no,
heart shape.
no.
I
That was
remember
this
that.
show. That was this show.
That was
This
97.
is-
Okay.
yeah.
So that was that a title match with Sid?
Yes, with Sid. Yep.
Okay, all right,
Because
right.
they faced off Sid. Yeah, Sid beat Sean at Survivor '96. Was a great show.
Mhm.
Um, and I believe he attacked Jose Lothario, who was in
Oh,
Sean's corner, and that was
right,
the
right.
continuation. They were going to
Yeah,
continue it that way, and
that
that
was
led to
crazy. Yeah,
Rumble.
that was
Yeah,
crazy.
Rumble
Yeah.
'97 is a fun show too.
Oh, really?
That's a fun
Okay.
show.
But yeah, so definitely, you know what? So I'd like to lean towards maybe mid to late October. You know, I'll let you and anyone else who's interested when we can
Yeah.
drop that. We'll do Survivor Series 92. We'll
All
be
right.
so viewers, folks. The next time you see me and Frank here, we'll do a Survivor Series 1992 review, and I'll be back, of course, with CJ. We'll do our next Retro Raw down. That'll be most likely this Saturday night. And yeah, of course, you can catch Frank here and CJ. They'll do, what is it again? Unforgiven.
Hang on, let me
Unforgiven.
pull that up. Let me pull that out
Okay.
real quick too. Right
All right.
here.
Yeah.
Unforgiven '02. I love
We'll
this
do.
show, man. I
20
cannot
years
wait
in
to talk about
20
it.
years in the making.
No doubt.
Tw-
It's September too. Actually tomorrow's the anniversary, 20-year anniversary of this
oh,
show.
there you
Look at
go.
that.
There you
Yeah.
go. Perfect.
September 22nd, 2002. Phenomenal
Excellent.
show. I can't wait to talk about it.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, very good. So, Frank, thank you,
Yep.
thank you for everyone tuning in. I had a great time with this show, and I'll have even greater time once we get to the Survivor Series '92, and like we said,
Most
we'll aim for like
definitely.
mid to late October.
Yeah. By
Yeah,
then, hopefully, the Mets will at least be in the LCS by then, mid late October. Probably in the World. It
yeah,
depends on how late.
and
It depends
and
on how late.
hopefully
It might be in the World Series by then.
hopefully
Yeah.
my Jays here will
Yeah.
claw and scratch our way through at least the wild card for now, and we can at least make it to the division series would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Sometimes that would be a fun
um,
World Series matchup.
well, I'm warning you. We meet in the World Series. You're going down. You're going
No,
down.
I
This
don't
is our
think
year.
so.
30 years in the making. The World Series championship is coming back up north. Hmm? Back up north,
It's coming
baby.
back to Queens. It's coming back to
Ah, no,
Queens.
coming back to the T dot. 30 years in the making. This is ours.
Yeah.
Anyway, on that note, thank you, Frank, and thank you, everybody, for watching. This has been Retro Bros Review, episode 21, Blackjack,
21. Yep.
SummerSlam 92, and we'll see you all again for Survivor Series 92, mid to late October.
I'll see y'all later. Thank you.
All right, log out.
Thank you to
Peace.
anybody who has or will watch.
All right.
See
Thank
y'all
you.
later.
Peace out. Take care.
Yeah.
All right.